Your phone was silent.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream on What's Trending. I'm Ella, and joining me to discuss today's conversation, today's story is Tosin, who I fondly call Lady T. So, as you all know, what we do here, we pick out stories, especially trending ones, and then we try to dissect different angles of that particular story. So, we have a few on our list today, and one of it is, the story that has been flying up and down everywhere about the video of the celebrities with Darlington, popularly known as Happy.
Yeah.
In the video, he said he made so many disturbing comments. Like, I watched the video and was like, what? How in the world can somebody sit down and say things like this? I mean, you have siblings, even if you don't have siblings, you have people around, you've have loved ones that are maybe that age. And then you sit and you say these things. But people that understand the language, they will know how strong what he said was. So in the video, he said that he doesn't like working for people. And the reason why he don't like working for people is because he defiled a 15-year-old virgin, for that matter. And he was on live. And he had to call the hotel, the people that work, attendants, to come and take out the bed sheets that was stained by the blood from the 15-year-old's body. And he had to dash the person 2,000 naira because as he is, as a man that he is, he can never ever work for somebody. And he will not come and be, especially in a hotel, and not come and be washing the stuff. I mean, and the way he said it, I watched the video, right? Instantly, I was like, no sane person would do something like this and then come on public and say it. But then the weight comes in how he said it, because it was so disturbing. So the story behind it is that he said it for content sake. He said it because he wanted to go viral. He wanted to trend.
Yeah.
So my question now is, does it mean that any content creator it's okay to say anything online for the sake of trending?
Well, it's definitely it's not. But if let's look at it from both perspectives. The first perspective here is from the perspective of the content creator here. If people are not talking about you, then you are not making news, and then nobody will want to have anything to do with you. You have to be trending for people to say, okay, let's latch on to your publicity, so people can get to know about us. As people are talking about you, and people can talk about us as well. So they have to. Sometimes you can force it. How would I call it? I can call it like in trying to induce it. So there's this thing with pregnancy. When a woman is pregnant and then it's time for her to deliver and the baby is not coming, one of the things they can do is induce labor. So sometimes they lean on controversy just to induce that publicity. So, and bad news makes sells faster. So sometimes you can just go and say, but the issue here is from the side of morality. Now, why would you can trend, but there are some issues that you should, for the sake of the respect you have for the society, but there are some things, I think it has to do with how the society is. How does society carry itself? In a society where law and order is taken seriously,
Well, on that note, right? You do extraordinary things to stand out.
Yes.
There are so many people who are trending today without saying things that are immoral.
Yes.
He didn't have to do that. If he is trending with that, it means it's not worth it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you're trending for a bad purpose, you're not making any impact. It's not value.
Yes, they are not making, but they are making news. As far as they are concerned, news value. News weighs more for them than value.
So that means just because anybody's a content creator, they can go ahead and say things that
is where, you know, the society needs to step in. Because if they see that, okay, lots of people are condemning what they are doing. Okay, this thing that Speed Darlington has done now, and he sees that, oh, he's receiving a lot. It was because he received a lot of backlash. That's why he even came out to say, oh, guys, hold up. I'm not trying to look for trouble. Oh, this thing I said, I was just saying it because I just wanted to trend. Right. And then he was now making an allusion to, you know, so another part of Nigeria where, you know, they have child marriage and, you know, all those things, trying to say, okay, that one is not.
We'll still come to that. We'll still come to that angle. But what I'm still holding on to is what, like you said, the society. Because if there are regulations to, you know,
how
all this content
things,
creation, because it's actually content creating that brings about this thing.
Of course.
You know, people say freedom of speech, you have the right to say things, but for the public consumption, I feel in line with what you're saying, if there is no regulation. But then to people who even sit down and think of it, is it that they don't have home training without regulation? I mean, we should know what to say and what not to say individually.
Yes, of course.
We should sit down and think, oh, this thing we're about to say,
how is it going to affect people, and how is it going to make me look? Yes, but
I know this same thing. He had a video that went viral, I think 2022, where the landlady was saying that he was texting a 16-year-old. I don't know if he had anything to do with the child, but from the video, they said allegedly he was texting a 16-year-old. Who knows what he wanted to do with that act. So it trended, and the lady was screaming, oh, why are you doing this and that? And I heard he had another video that he said it was just for cloud chasing. And fast forward to this time around,
he's doing it again. Because he, maybe, you know, like I said, it has to do with regulations. If we can try to get the government to set up regulatory bodies so that people will know that they are answerable, they can be held accountable for whatever they say. And I think the latest on this story now is that NAPTIP has released a statement to what he has said. And I think if the bodies, we have some bodies on ground, you know, to handle things like this. So when the content creators start seeing that, okay, you don't just come out to say anything, you'll be held accountable for it. The bad publicity that you were aiming for can turn the other way, can backfire.
And in agreement with what you're saying, I feel he's not even, his own is very strong because he used very strong words. Very strong.
Yes, because he was speaking.
And to crown it or to make it worse, it was on Children's Day. This video.
That was a slap.
This video was released on Children's Day.
That was a slap, you know, on children. Children are supposed to be celebrated. Children are supposed to be valued and appreciated for the role they play. You know, they say children are the leaders of tomorrow. So here is somebody making an allegation saying what he did to a leader, a future leader.
Now, I'm thinking about the consequences from what he said. It has been established that he didn't do it. It was just for cloud chasing. But I feel one of the consequences of what he did is there are people like that it's what they do. They call pedophiles, right?
Yes, pedophiles.
So seeing that video, I think somebody who does that might be watching that video and feel they might not know that, because the way he said it in the video, he didn't say like he did it or he did not do it. They'll be like, oh, somebody is saying this and they did it. Meaning it's encouraging
people to do more. So, but like I said, it goes back to our regulatory bodies. We also need to support them. you know, a lot of people, because of the backlash that he received, that was what made him come out to say, guys, I'm just, you know, joking.
Yes, joking about.
I mean, there's no sane society that is going to entertain that is going to just laugh. So you did something, and what should people do? People should just smile and say, people should condemn. If somebody says something and it is not right, people should go all out to condemn it.
True.
Yes, people should condemn it. The person should take responsibility for whatever
and
he
he's not
has
even
said or
taking
done.
correction. That's an annoying thing. I've seen series of his videos. From the first one he did, he keeps calling the people that are trying to correct him out, and then he mentioned something, bringing us back to the point you made about a certain community marrying off their children from the age of 13, you know.
It's all
11.
over the world, not just in Nigeria. Yes, even in India, you know, you have lots of communities outside Nigeria where those things, these are age-long traditions, you know. It's, if you look at it, there are reasons why those things are done. But this one,
what are the reasons? You can give us one or two, because I don't think any reason why you marry out a 13-year-old to an elderly person.
To an elderly person, yes. But you know, that's the thing about history and culture and tradition. You know, we can't just say, oh, because they're practicing it, we just badmouth it. There are reasons why those practices were, you know, done started happening then. And now that, you know, we have grown wiser, you know, education has come into play. Yes, those practices are they're still observing those practices, but it's not on a large scale now. But this one is different. This one is just is somebody just coming out to just say it without emotions, you know, without care. Yes. And these ones were even married, even though we are not saying, we are not supporting
it's true, we are not supporting it. But the thing is, for what made this one different from the other one is because at least there are adults that give consent in terms of the child's parents.
Yes.
That's true. And not that, like you said, not that we are encouraging it to keep happening.
Yes.
And there might be, you know,
it's a different backlog. Yes, it's a different. I remember we once had a guest who on Unfiltered, where she talks about child marriage. Yes, on child marriage, and she exposed a lot of things where she said some of these families agree to have their children married off, you know, especially for economic reasons. Yes. So for economic, so what they do is that they encourage the parents to allow the children learn a skill, go to school, you know, and all of that. So that's a totally different ball game. Here is someone who has, you know, alleged to have something to do with a minor, and he said it in such a way that it's not something that should be encouraged, it's not something that should be supported.
Is there any classification for that kind of person? Because I don't know what's wrong.
No, I think
for it's a different thing that you did it. We know that this person has a very bad mind about it. But you saying it in a casual.
I think the thing is, it's not really about, let's not focus on his person. What we should do is also see how, aside the fact that we can talk about regulatory bodies, we also need to see how we can get these people rehabilitated.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't think it's something.
Yes. We need to see how we can rehabilitate. So if somebody like him can come out, how much? There are many more, you know, who don't have this platform. Yes, but you know, you can have somebody like that on the streets where you live, you know, and all of that. So communities need to come together to see how they can create awareness, you know, about children, how they should be treated, you know, and how they should be seen, how they should be perceived, and then create awareness that, look, there are some things you shouldn't take joy in doing or take joy in saying. And if people now see that, okay, the society is not supporting it, they'll stay away from it. There are societies where they frown at such things and nobody tries it.
And then
our society can become something like that.
In addition to that, maybe create regulations for content creating, because everybody wants to carry phone now. The person is creating content.
Yes.
You carry phone, you want to record somebody that is talking somewhere. I even go on TikTok and I see people are in public vehicles and they are videoing people walking on the road and they are saying and people are liking and commenting. So that's, I think there should be a body regulating content creation. If you're watching us on this live stream, I think your opinion and thoughts are valued. Please leave us a message on the comment section on what you think. Now, on the second story, which is the most, should I say, the more painful one or tragic one, is about a 19-year-old who used to work as a masseuse.
Okay.
So I recently saw a video of her elder brother and the mother, an interview.
Okay.
And they were saying that the girl, a 19-year-old, that it was her off day that very day on the 13th of February. And the boss called her for a home service. And it was very late. According to the mother, it was about 6:30, thereabouts. So she told the mother that she was leaving. She needed to go and work. The mother was like, how are you leaving by this time? It's too late. And she's like, oh, okay, when I get to my workplace, I'm going to call you. Fast forward to getting to her workplace, she called to tell them that she has gotten there.
She's gotten there.
So from the previous video I saw, allegedly, the place where she works, if the staff don't finish their work on time, they have a place where they sleep till the next morning. So she didn't get back home that night, and the parents didn't worry, maybe because of that
Yes,
purpose.
maybe she was sleeping over at her.
So the next day, she was supposed to come back in the morning. They didn't see her. The whole day went by. The next day, they started asking questions. They had to call the boss, and the boss was like, she's not around. You know, a few days went by. They kept on asking questions, and they got a news that the girl died, that she was killed. Now, fast forward to the story. Fast forward to yesterday or day before yesterday when they were doing the video. The boy said that the boss already admitted that she was the one that killed the girl. They've gone to several morgues where the police took them, but they couldn't. The body that they were showing them were not, because I will know my brother's body or my So the corpse they were showing them were not the sister and the child's corpse, and they came to seek for the society to help and all of that. Now, this is really a moral thing. You committed a crime. The woman have not even said the reason behind she killing the child. So I first of all, my first question from this story is, being that it's a private firm, what body in Nigeria regulates entrepreneurship? What body sees that if something goes wrong in this business, because you open a business and people want to work.
Yes, of course.
They need space to come and show their skill and whatnot.
Yes.
You get? So what body regulates that? If something happens in this business or in this building or whatever you are involved in, you'll be held accountable for it.
Well, I don't think there's anybody that is in charge of that. Yes, I only know that there are bodies that help to support people who run small and medium scale businesses. But in the area of security, we have the police. We have the police, and what I think we should be looking at is, how people can be more security conscious for themselves and for their loved ones. So it's not enough to just know that you have a relative that is working somewhere. It's also good to know where the office is. It's good to know who the employer is. Yes, the name of the employer, who is related to the employer, and colleagues that, people who are also working in that organization. So if people can learn to know how they can be more security conscious, it can help to make people more accountable.
Well, security conscious in this case, the lady stood up and she was going to work. I mean, this won't be the first time that the boss is calling her for home service.
Yes, of course.
Again, going for home services, how safe do you think where you're going to?
Private services. That's why it still boils down. It still comes. We are still coming back to that, talk of being security conscious. Yes, you are going to work, the same work. We've had stories of people who went to work and they didn't return, and whatever happened to them didn't even happen at the office. It happened maybe when they were coming back. Yes, either to work or returning from work. But it's a lot of this thing. The thing is, people who perpetrate these crimes are not dumb either. They're always coming up with new ways. Yes, they are smart, they're intelligent. But we can. It doesn't mean we can't beat them. We can still come up with ways. When they come up through this way, we look for how we can, surpass them in their
whatever thinking they're
yes,
doing.
and then it's a battle, but we keep winning. Number one, okay, if you are going out, you have somebody you're telling, oh, this is where I'm going to, this is the time. Once you get to where you're going to, say I've gotten there, this is where I am.
Which she did.
Yes, which she did.
She did,
and
yes.
that gave a lead to know, okay, where she was. It would have been a different case altogether if they didn't even know she stepped out of where she was going to in the first place. So you can see that's something. Yes, that's a good one.
Well, talking about the crime itself, comparing our country, our beloved country, to other countries on how they handle crime.
Yeah.
I thought that if somebody is a suspect, they remain in custody. I stand to be corrected.
I think if there's an evidence, to hold the person, if there's no evidence, you really can't keep somebody in custody. Let's not talk about people who are in custody without
yes, but then since the family have been going, this thing happened in February. And they've complained, and they've taken, according to them, according to the story, they've taken them. They reported the case in Life Camp or Gwarimpa police station, and they were referred to the morgue in Kubwa to go and check. And they have been tossing them
here and
there. So it's a good question to ask. Is this how other countries handle these crime problems? I mean, it's something everybody will be asking.
Yes.
We really might not have the answer to it, but
how do people get justice? Is it like if you don't have the money, you can't get justice for your loved one?
Obviously, we don't have the say, we don't have people at the top. Because there is no way you tell me rich people will have similar cases and they will not have solution to it immediately. Is it because these people are poor? Is it because they don't have the money to, lobby here and there?
Well, I'm always optimistic. I always look at the bright side. If somebody has money to pursue, which he can use to pursue justice for, whatever case he's facing, is fine. But I also think that somebody who doesn't have money can still make a headway. Number one, being persistent, being persistent in your pursuits. And there are bodies that can help support you in this cause. For example, we have, I think we have a law body that offers pro bono support, to help pursue a case. There are legal bodies like that, depending, whatever it is. So we can meet this, but there are NGOs.
In this case, I feel they are being, for the fact that the video I saw, they had to, the elder brother was like, I have done everything I can. We have done. And to think that these people are still mourning, and it's a shock.
And you said he did a video. That means he put it on the media. The media is one of the most powerful mediums with which you can use to, share your problems and get the help you need, especially with the help of social media now. So if one is facing any challenge or whatsoever and you feel like he's not making a headway, just come on social media. You will find people that will be willing to help and support you. People who, are handling issues like this, and they can call the attention of the necessary bodies or organization that is in charge, and the person can get justice. We've had cases of people who came out. You remember that case of Kadri, that boy who that picture that went viral when Peter Obi came to Lagos.
That little boy.
He ran into some trouble with some of the boys in his area where he was wrongfully accused and he was kept in prison for months. But I think somebody came out on social media and said, oh, I think the person went to see a relative in prison, and that relative said, oh, this boy is here. And before we knew it, word went out, and the boy got help and he got out of prison. So yes.
Well, I know the media is present anyway, but what about the people who don't have access to the media?
They will always have access. You will always have people. You see, the thing is, sometimes we overlook some of the organizations we have in our communities, and we feel, oh, this one is too small. That small NGO that is into grassroots, you will always find somebody. You will always find help, no matter how small. You will always find help. You just keep talking. You just keep pushing. Before you know it, you will get the help you need. That will take you, to the next level, or give you the answer that you are seeking.
Oh, that makes sense, but I still insist that there are basic things that has to be. If a crime is done, there There are already, this is a country, it has laws, it has rules, it has
Yes,
regulation.
yes, yes,
Things like this have happened in the past. I mean, this is
of
not even the
course.
first time that there's a case like this. And then why would a mourning family have to go through all this, go to this, and then you're
It's
looking
not.
at a corpse to find something that looks like this is your child and you're
You
not
can
seeing it?
find, yes,
The
it's
emotional,
disheartening. It's really disheartening. It's painful. It's really, really painful. But I we shouldn't give up.
yeah, just like you
We
said,
shouldn't give
what
up.
they did was a very good step.
Yes, it's a
Taking the
very good
step to
step.
talk
Mm-hmm.
and then speak out. And the mother was like, oh, I was just looking at that woman. I was just like,
Feeling
wow.
bad for her.
I mean, losing a child at 19, and then you're doing
Promising
everything
child.
you can, and then you're being frustrated at that. Wow. I
we
feel
I also, I think the society, aside, because this kind of things, when people come on the media to share their stories, the society can also support in calling on people who are responsible to, like those who are in charge of the security. The society can talk to them, encourage them, let's do the right thing. If people bring cases and there's maybe a particular session where there will always be a complaint that, oh, anytime you take your case there, it's not
there are
treated.
several departments that
Yes,
handle different kind of
yes, people can
cases.
call for whoever is in charge to be changed, so they can bring somebody who is more serious, somebody who has the heart of the people. So you find out that at the end of the day, it still rests on the society to help make the necessary changes, because it's still going to benefit us at the end of the day.
Which is one thing Speed Darlington would have done instead of saying, instead of making such, bringing me back to him. Really, it was, oh my God. I watched that video. I was like, what?
But it's a developing story. He has said it all started with him bringing out that video and going live and saying those things he said. And then after, I don't know whether it was a day or two, he came out to say, no, I was just trying to
No,
trend. Why I said it now.
even thinking of, even saying that, even without doing it,
Yes.
that's been established that he didn't do it, but saying it, sitting down. I mean, ignore it. You know, the slap on the face of the society, because it was a live show. It's not like he recorded it and he posted. It was a live, and I'm like, if you anything where you like me do, you don't understand. I mean,
it's a developing story. Now NAPTIP has released a statement.
that
So let's
they've
see what
invited
happens in
him.
the coming days, weeks. I know it's not just going to people are not just going to let it slide, because you also said there was an issue like that some years back. Yeah, so I'm quite sure that this is going to end in a way that is going to be an example for others.
Sure.
Quite
Thank
hopeful
you,
of
Lady
that.
T. Like I fondly call you. I told you, I fondly call you Lady T. Thank you, guys. Like I said, you guys, your comments and your opinion are important. I'm sure most of us have seen the video. I'm not the only one that saw the video, both the first story and the second story and many more. I am not the only one that saw it. So you watch the video and then you can come and leave your comment and thoughts on the comment section, which we'll pick up maybe next time on our live
next time on our
stream.
live.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.